Sami Zayn is not in the main event of WrestleMania. He is going to be tag teaming with Kevin Owens. Possibly. I hope so. We're going to get right into it. Let's go. What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I'm Jesse Carter. Joined with me as always, James Pinard Jr. And tonight, Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. What it do? Joined with me as always.
What up? What up? What up?
James, you gonna say anything? You're just gonna stare at the screen. You mad at that opening segue that I said? Sami Zayn not being in the main event.
No comments.
Guys, we are right after the Royal Rumble. I got a lot to talk about when it comes to the Royal Rumble. I know we're a couple days past the point, but obviously we have now learned from Monday Night Raw last night that the Elimination Chamber is going to be taking place in Montreal. It's going to be for the United States title, which I feel like is a positive. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like the mid-card titles need that shine. Otherwise, they just don't mean anything. And we're gonna be having a lot of title discussion later on in this broadcast for sure, because we've been going at it for about 3 days over on the Pro Wrestling Shoot group chat over in Facebook, and I just feel like we should have this discussion. Hopefully more people join in the live chat and have this discussion with us and see what they think as well. But in the meantime, Elimination Chamber, Sami Zayn is rumored, I guess. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but rumored to be facing Roman Reigns for the title. Is that correct, Conrad?
That's what it is, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Is it rumored? It's not confirmed, right?
I don't think it's confirmed. But I mean, listen, it's a layup, bro. Like you don't miss that. Like he's there
in Canada of all places.
They're like, it's a rematch with Kevin Owens. Boo.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, and that's not for Kevin, but everybody wants to see Sami in the spot. This is his time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so, man. I guess let's just jump into the Royal Rumble, man. We had what we thought was supposed to be an extravagant Royal Rumble. We're getting bait and switched all over the place by WWE. They're super happy with their surprises.
Dang it!
So, look, maybe it's my fault, all right? But right after the Royal Rumble, I remember hitting up the group chat, and I was pissed off.
Whoa,
I was on one. I had a few drinks. I was just not in the right state of mind. I was just completely crapping on WWE. I was done watching this product.
Oh, yeah. Well, those comments are right up here. A lot of censorship.
Yeah, so, dude, here's my thing, right? Maybe I should just go into a WWE event the way I went into Extreme Rules, right? Because in 2022, when Extreme Rules happened, I went into that event not expecting anything, not even really expecting Bray Wyatt, even though it was teased so much. And then we got Bray Wyatt, and I was super happy. I felt like the pay-per-view was probably WWE's pay-per-view of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember a better pay-per-view than the Extreme Rules was in my book for 2022, maybe Mania, but yeah, dude, I mean, it's just Royal Rumble did not hit for me, man. Look, I know we're going to get into the whole Bray Wyatt thing. I know a lot of people did not like that pitch black match, and I'm going to explain the whole concept of it, dude, right now. Like, that's the one part of the Royal Rumble that I actually dug, and I'm going to explain why. Visually, I thought it was amazing. Pitch black is a Mountain Dew product, right? Like, all of us didn't really put two and two together, but Mountain Dew has a drink now called Mountain Dew Pitch Black, all right? And it is about, that glow. If you look at their, if you look at the labeling, it's all glowing and everything else. That's what they went for. So visually, I thought this match was good. Anybody who went into this match thinking that Bray Wyatt was going to put on some 5-star extravaganza, I'm sorry, but that's just, I mean, when have you ever seen Bray Wyatt do a 5-star extravaganza? Because I haven't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen really a good match from Bray Wyatt. It's usually about the visual effects. As far as different, I'd say they hit the nail on the head for different. I thought it was cool. I mean, we got the botch spot with Uncle Howdy jumping off and missing, LA Knight. I was a little disappointed that LA Knight didn't win, to be honest. Like that was the one disappointment for me in the whole match, because I feel like this Bray Wyatt character should be beaten, and we shouldn't be pushing him like the Fiend. Does that make sense?
I agree kind of with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like why is he not feeling pain? And I apparently some of the top people, this is a rumor, of course, that they're saying it's a nightmare to work with him sometimes because they look weak. Mr. Pro Wrestling 1, get out of here with that now. Always loving the Bullet Club, baby. Always good dude. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like it's weird. Like I don't know, James. Like what's up with it to you?
I mean, look, I know it's a spectacular thing, seeing Bray. Don't get me wrong, he thinks out of the box. I was kind of surprised they even did a whole in-ring thing. I thought it was going to be a backstage thing or something, similar to how the Undertaker Boneyard match was, or something like that, something pitch dark, or like I think it was like that swamp match or whatever with Braun. I wasn't going in there expecting a 5-star match, but I at least thought maybe more than 5 minutes. Like the face paint going on.
You were pissed about the timing of this match. I remember you were going off in the chat about the time.
It was cool and all, but I'm like, really? That's how he ended in the spot? I'm like, the Uncle Howdy spot, and he completely went way right.
Bro, that mask went in his eyes. You know what I mean? Took that elbow drop, and the mask went up in his eyes.
Yeah, and then you see LA Knight trying to roll over, hey, I'm trying to sell it, brother. So
he did the video game elbow drop when the guy's facing the wrong way and they got to like turn in the air. They're like, oh, fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Where your whole body just rotates. Dude.
Write this down, 2K.
So for me, look, visually, I thought it was cool. Like the whole glow in the dark thing. I thought that was pretty cool looking. I like the face paint. Like visually, like I said, what Bray did in this match was cool to me. I hated the fact that they had Mountain Dew labels in the ring, all glow in the dark and stuff. I hated that. It just like I thought to myself, like, dude, can you imagine a Randy Savage match where they just brought out the Slim Jim mats just for a Randy Savage match? Because that's what it felt like. But as far as the match, like I said, I didn't expect anything crazy out of this match. I'm glad it went short because, dude, you're going to expose Bray if you have him in 20, 30-minute matches. Like, the dude he's not that kind of wrestler. And
I think he's still, I think he's a good wrestler. I think a lot of people are forgetting I can think of some good matches that he's had. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a contrarian. Like Jesse knows I always like try to argue something with him about these things.
No, you're good, man. Bring it up, man, because if you got a good match, chances are I don't even remember it.
Bray Wyatt tag teaming with Roman Reigns, I thought was a great tag match. And I remember the finish to that match like it was yesterday. Sister Abigail got hit on, was it Del Rio?
I think so.
Was it Del Rio and Sheamus?
Roman.
The problem is I don't remember those jabrones. Like that group wasn't around that long, and I don't remember who was teaming, but someone from that team, and they were down. He hits the Sister Abigail, and I'll never forget, Roman's behind him. He can't see him, and the guy gets into the ring. So the ref gets down. It's 1, 2, and then Bray puts his hand up like, boom, get him, and Roman hits the spear. I was like, dude, that is a great team. Keep him babyface. It lasted like 2 weeks because I think he got hurt after that. Yeah, dude, the dude is great. Yeah. And if you've ever seen a match, it is the Wyatt family versus someone. It's like Rey Mysterio, and they're in a team. And I'll never forget, Bray Wyatt grabbed Rey Mysterio and gave the best Sister Abigail I've ever seen. Like, he was moving the entire time, and he grabbed him and was like, I got you.
It was just quick. It was quick.
Yeah. You remember it?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's one of the best, bro. One of the best.
Yeah, no, that's great, but you got to keep in mind this guy hasn't been in the ring for a year, and now he's probably one of the highest paid WWE stars in the back. So, I mean, dude, he's so high paid that he's
wrestler.
He is.
What the Undertaker is.
He's spectacular.
Pretty much
but
what it is.
At this point, even though I'm patient with the storyline, I feel like WWE does need to rush something just because fans are going to turn on him. You know what I mean? If they don't do something spectacular with him, then fans are going to turn on him. I think that now fans are just kind of looking for any reason to crap on anything he's doing.
You could have took away that Hardy band performance, which was god awful.
We're not even going to speak about that on this podcast. I don't even know why you brought that shit up.
I definitely took a dump during that, and I will say that on here proudly as well. I definitely was like, I'm out.
That performance was a dump. So I didn't even know who Hardy was. Michael was here at my house. Michael's not with us this week, obviously. He's running out of PTO, so I don't know what to tell him. Yeah, Conrad taking the hot tag anytime Michael, drops the ball for us.
Medical leave.
So look, Michael was over here at my house watching the Royal Rumble. He had his girlfriend who has never watched wrestling. His girlfriend was over here super excited for Hardy. She's like, oh yeah, he's this country music star. Dude, as soon as this performance happened, I was like, this is not country music. This is like, and I was the first to say it too. I was like, he looks like Kid Rock. He's trying to perform like Kid Rock. This is ridiculous. Like his screams are terrible. My wife is sitting next to me like, can this just be over? Like this is hurting my ears. This is terrible. Yeah, I don't even know why they went this route to have this performance. I feel like we could have had another match in this spot, or at least given Bray Wyatt maybe more than 5 minutes, so James could have been happy. But other than that, the night started out with the men's Royal Rumble, and look, there's all this talk, and I get it. Look, if there's one thing I hate, it's fans that say, "Oh well, The Rock never said he was coming." Dude, he didn't have to. There's fucking electricity on the poster. He's over here on Young Rock throwing up the Universal title and getting ready for Roman Reigns and telling young Roman on the show, one day it'll be me and you in the ring. There's so many hints going towards this. We were waiting for this match last year, right? So check it out, man. I get it. Yes, he did not come and say, but when has any surprise come out and said, we're not going to make it? It doesn't happen. Did Tony Khan stop all those rumors of Sasha Banks showing up in LA? No, he didn't. You know what I mean? And that's the problem is like Triple H right after the Royal Rumble went on and said, no, The Rock's a really busy guy, man. We can't, he's not going to make it to WrestleMania. Bro, why didn't you say that before? And I hear people saying, oh, well, he ain't got time for that. Really? You ain't got time for a 5-minute tweet?
No.
You know what I mean? The Rock's not coming. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that. Like, shut it down so people aren't. Look, at this point, I don't even care about this match anymore. Like, if they try to run this at SummerSlam, try to run it at WrestleMania, I don't care. I'm not tuning in. Like, it's just not, like, it's too little too late. You know what I mean? That's like WWE bringing back Sting right now and trying to run that Undertaker match. It's just not going to happen for me, man. You're waiting too long. Thoughts? Nobody thought The Rock was coming, right?
I made the bold prediction that when we did the prediction show on my podcast, I said that I don't think The Rock's showing up at WrestleMania. That's one for the good guys, but I've missed another one that I think what the problem is. I think it's the Vince McMahon stuff and the whole, is it being sold? What's going on with this? The Rock is there to promote his brand. So The Rock is coming back. He's like, yo, bro, I need that XFL promotion. I'm going to need you to get me some of those good doctors, Vince. Hook me up. I'm just saying. And he's out there, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to show off. Let me promote my movie, whatever he's got going on. Right. He can't do that if the focus is, are you selling to Saudi Arabia? Is Vince McMahon going to have another sex scandal?
Okay. I get all that. I get, like, look, I don't want bad publicity, all that shit. The Rock. Look, The Rock wouldn't be in Hollywood if it wasn't for the WWE, first of all. Okay? Second of all, if The Rock was not coming, then don't be releasing posters with electricity and running shit on your show, teasing it. You know what I mean? Like, and if they do run that, that's fine. You can tease it, but then come out and say, look, he's not coming, so don't expect him. You know what I mean? And like I said, after the Rumble, I had like a couple days to sleep on it because look, Triple H also came out and said, look, we're happy with our surprises. I think that the WWE universe is going to love our surprises. Just tune into the Royal Rumble. It's going to happen. Bro, surprises. Logan Paul.
And Booker T.
What else? Chelsea Green, who gets thrown out in 2 seconds. And Nia Jax.
She's not like most girls.
Yeah, she's not like most anybody gives a shit. So, Who else was there? I was missing one other person. Was there one other person?
I mean, Pat McAfee came back, which that
Pat
was
McAfee
obviously-
Michelle
was the best.
McCool.
Michelle McCool. There you go. Michelle
that
McCool.
should have been in the Royal Rumble. That's what I was assuming.
Let me ask this question before you start. Were you happy with the surprises?
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
No, I was actually really mad that Triple H said that.
Yeah.
I think they made some booking errors in the Rumble. I like the women's Rumble better than the men's, truthfully. That's me.
That's
I
what
did
I
too.
was going to say.
I did too.
I'm surprised there was no NXT talent that even came up for the men's. I thought Braun Baker. I thought somebody else was going to come from there, and no.
Is Triple H being too protective, I wonder, of people? Because listen, to me, you can't have a lot of surprises every year. And I know some years they can do that and get away with it. There's other years where you're like, you know what? This Rumble's going to be just fine. What I don't like, and I told Jesse and everybody this, I think, in the group, like, why is it that you can have Booker T come out there and do the best hits of Booker T, spin a Rooney, get dumped? It's pointless. I would rather have like Rob Van Dam in 09. He came out, bro. I'll never forget that Rumble. He was in towards the end in the mix still, and he did his thing. And I was like, now that's exciting.
Make them
what
make them feel like they're valuable, not just get in there, do a couple kicks, do your signature taunt, whatever it is, and then get thrown out. It's a waste.
You need multiple people too who are believable winners. I think that was the one thing that kind of worked. Cody's Rumble reminds me of like Austin 98. Do you guys remember watching like back in the day? You did the Attitude Era thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're watching all these, go check that out in the archives, by the way. When you're watching all of these, you knew back in the day. I hope you guys did. Even as kids, I was like, dude, Stone Cold's winning the Royal Rumble in 1998. There's no way. Am I supposed to believe Savio Vega has a chance or Los Bariquas? Like, it's not going down like that. It was the same thing with Cody. I was like, with all respect to Gunther, I knew. Like, I was like, bro, I'm sorry. It ain't you, bro. It's Cody's time. Like, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I wasn't so mad about like who was left. Look, going into the Rumble, I already predicted it. Cody was winning. Like that was not my issue. That's not my issue at all. Like I knew this was going to be a Rumble that Cody was going on. Like, dude, we spoke about it for weeks. That was my prediction. That was Michael's prediction. That was a lot of people in the chat's prediction. I was actually just interviewed by, I think it was David 3000. He's another YouTuber on here. Go subscribe to his channel. Go check him out. He interviewed the Pro Wrestling Shoot the other day. And there was two people in the chat, Jordy and David, and their prediction was Cody as well. So, yeah, dude. I mean, I think it's just it was a given that Cody was winning this. That wasn't the problem to me. The problem was the Rumble just like when you're told stuff like we're happy with our surprises, you're thinking big, right? I always expect the best for WWE. It's like, look, Triple H is running stuff. I'm thinking stuff is changing, right? Like maybe we can get a working partnership with New Japan. We just sent 3 guys over there to do New Japan stuff. Why can't we get some New Japan guys over here? You know what I mean? Like something different. We got Mickie James, what was it, last year? So we got Mickie James in the Rumble. Like why can't we get a couple of Impact guys? You know, I understand we're not going to get AEW. Like that's just, you know, everybody has burnt bridges to this working relationship. I don't see a future with it unless Tony Khan is the one to buy WWE. But other than that, like, I just don't like that. I felt like I was bait and switched. You know what I mean? So that got me extra hype. And if they wouldn't have said that at all, I would have went into this Rumble like, I'm just waiting for a good Royal Rumble, right? I probably would have had a different outlook on the Rumble because I already wanted Cody to win. I would have been happy with the outcome. I still am happy with the outcome. It was fine. The women's Royal Rumble, like you said, was a lot better, dude. The Bianca and Alexa match was definitely a throwaway. I don't even care about talking about that match. It was just, it wasn't for me. Yeah, they need to hurry up with the whole Alexa Bliss stuff too. It's like, is she joining Bray Wyatt? Is she not joining? Like, what's going on? Let's just get that out of here.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of Rumble plans were scrapped when The Rock wasn't coming. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Bloodline was going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then everything just shifted the one way. Hey, we're just going to do the Sami Zayn trial or tribal court or whatever. What was it? Rikishi and Sika and all them. Yeah, they're not showing up. I think it would have went a whole different way if you had. I'm surprised they even scrapped the minute, but I'm pretty sure The Rock was maybe going to be in the Rumble, and that was the way the Bloodline was going to be fed into it. And there's, like you said, they teased it. I think it was Russell Volts like saying that there's plenty of surprises coming into the Rumble, and I think everything just went south once The Rock said, "Hey, I'm not coming," or and he gave him. It was, I think, by Friday or so, the Friday before, not the Friday before the Raw 30. Everything just went south. They had to change all their plans, and it just felt, like you said, we go into this thinking big for the company, and we just got two surprises. You could put some positives in this and say, they utilize most of their main roster compared to having a legend steal someone's thunder or somebody that's, waste of a spot. I mean, yeah, Booker T, okay, that's one wasted spot. They were kind of still doing the productive things and doing Royal Rumble teases for the
so me and Michael were sitting together and we were like, we're done with legends. We talked about it last week on the podcast. Like, I don't really care about legends showing up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At this point, with what Tony Khan is doing, and like, just picture an AEW Royal Rumble. What would that look like? You know what I mean? With multiple companies from multiple areas.
7 aces coming out. 7 aces.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, though. Like,
it's the Joker card. That's what it is. The Joker.
Yeah,
here is the Joker.
But do you get what I'm saying, though? Like, a Tony Khan Royal Rumble would have had multiple companies involved, and I feel like at this point in WWE, it's like, dude, when are we going to stop being selfish and let's, like, your roster is not the best. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care about Otis. I'm just going to throw that out
why
there.
There was no NXT in the men's. Triple H, you're a big NXT guy.
No Braun Breaker is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was very odd.
I think you have to be careful with that, though, too, James, because you don't want to expose Braun Breaker to where he's in front of a big position and then he gets chumped. And then when he comes up, it means nothing. Because right now, this dude's got hype behind him. When he shows up, people are going to stand up and be like, oh, that's Braun Breaker. Yeah. Same with Carmelo Hayes. Like, and I feel like, too, they're trying to rebuild NXT. So that's why, what's her name? Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Like, when they brought her up, she's going to be in NXT for a while because they need to build a base now.
Yeah,
like,
she just
need to be like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
you need to work as hard as she does.
She got a good reaction. She was all over the place.
Well, shout out to the chat. Stephen Kelly says the 2023 Rumble was better than 2022 Rumble. I agree. I think that Rumble was a lot better than the 2022 Rumble. And I think that 2024 Rumble will be a lot better than 2023 because I'll tell you what I'm not going in expecting, and that's any surprises. I'm going to expect their roster, and I should be happy.
Another Booker T, a Hurricane.
Mr. Pro Wrestling 1, Cody for life. I'm with you, buddy. Like, that's
what a bunch
I'm
of
a fan.
marks.
I'm a fan.
Mark.
RSTV, thanks for joining again, man. Good to see you back. Cody versus Roman is going to be fun. I'm excited for it, dude. I'm with it. Well, you want to say something right now, Conrad? Go ahead and say it.
No. Just I don't know. Like, the 2022 Rumble, I felt bad. I feel like I'm the only person who stuck up for Shane in this. When everyone's like, "Yes, Shane stuck out the joint," I was like, "What was he supposed to do?" Like, if I gave you that roster, bro, if you gave me that roster, I don't think I could book it. Like, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Give me something else. And they're like, "No, this is all we got, kid. It's all we got, pal. You got to make it work."
That roster was just that was during the 2K22 roster, and you know what I mean, there was just nothing interesting for it. I'm just saying, like, the Rumble in general was better, like, not just the Rumble matches, but the whole Rumble pay-per-view I thought was a lot better, especially with that main event with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. That saved everything.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, saved everything. The women's Royal Rumble, the most exciting part for me was Kana coming out with her paint, doing her thing, man. Like, I marked out as soon as I seen it, because look, there was rumors circulating. I was going to do a special video for our YouTube as well, like a little short video talking about Kana. Well, basically just a comment thread. Like, would you like to see this? Do you like Asuka the way she is, or would you like to see her bring her New Japan Pro Wrestling, well, not New Japan Pro Wrestling, but her old Japan stuff back. And I had this thumbnail made, everything, just never made it, dude. Never made the video. And then she showed up as Kana, and I was just marking out, dude. I was so happy for her. I thought the presentation looked really good. I liked seeing her in pants. Thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, it was a lot different. Going in there, she's been teasing on Twitter for some time, like, I'm gonna go back to this old character from Japan, and man, she blew the roof off the building.
Conrad?
Yeah, I think a slight change for Asuka makes things good. She's one of their when you look at the women's division, I always tell people the four horsemen are like usually the ones that everyone talks about, but you still have Asuka, Rhea, Bianca. There's still a lot of underneath talent too that deserves their props. I hope that they let her shine here a little bit and get some stuff. I feel like now she could be, well, I'm getting into spoilers ahead a little bit, but I feel like she could be in one of these title matches at Mania. Now I'm starting to think
that's
like
what it looks like.
I'm thinking it's Bianca versus Asuka for sure.
That's what it looks like.
But if you give me Alexa Bliss again, dude, I'm done. Like, I don't want to see that match again. I'm just over it, man. And I think Asuka's going to be the one to take the title away from Bianca. I think we have 2 women's title changes at WrestleMania.
You know, and I'm not, you know, I know everyone's bashing it. Oh, why didn't you Rhea pick, Bianca? We never had that match because she had that medical emergency, but you have Charlotte there. She fought her the one in WrestleMania with no crowd in the audience, and she's developed big time. I thought everything worked fine, and I think Khan is going to be the right one to take out Bianca.
The callback to the story is a little weird though too. Like now that Rhea's the heel, there she is. Mm-hmm. There's Asuka. It's weird how they set up that match, but I think Asuka and Bianca would be a unique matchup, and I think we can get some serious work in that match.
Yeah, I think this one might even be better than Charlotte and Rhea, surprisingly.
I don't think so, man. I think Rhea Ripley and Charlotte is the one that we want to see. Rhea Ripley, the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble winner. As soon as she came out on Raw last night, I was like, damn, dude, she's going to pick Bianca. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that match where she gets her revenge, right, from taking the title from Charlotte. As soon as she picked Charlotte, I popped because we talk all the time about the SmackDown women's roster. It's lacking. It sucks. There's nobody there for Charlotte to face that's worth a damn. Like Raw is pretty loaded right now. You got Bayley, you got Becky, you got Alexa, you got Bianca, you got Asuka. There's choices. You know what I mean? There's choices for that. Who do you got over on SmackDown? Shotzi, Liv.
We were ready to unify the titles the way we were talking.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. They were going to unify them.
And we're going to get into that, dude, because I still believe we should. I feel like this is not like, dude, if you were to put 2 titles on AEW's roster, I would be like, okay, that sounds like a good idea because it's so massive. WWE does not really have a massive roster anymore. So it's, to me, I don't know. We're going to get into the whole title thing. We're going to talk about it. We'll finish this Royal Rumble stuff out. We ended up getting Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. This match, look, I was like, all right, The Rock didn't show up in the Rumble. Maybe he'll show up here. He didn't, but what they did was so much better than a Rock return to me. In my mind, Sami Zayn and the whole bloodline, this story has carried on for months. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns' storyline is carried on for about a year now. About a year, right? So there's tension there, man. And then you got Solo Sikoa, who is just like, everybody says, oh, he could be Team Roman or he's Team Usos. Bro, I think Solo Sikoa is Team Solo. It says it all in the name, Solo. Like, I don't think that fool gives a damn about anybody. He doesn't really acknowledge the tribal chief. He doesn't really acknowledge the Usos. That guy is just there. He does a job, you know what I mean? And he's done with it. I hope this isn't the end of the bloodline, but Roman Reigns ended up getting the victory and retaining the titles, which, I mean, let's face it. Like I called a prediction out of left field and said, that'd be cool if Kevin Owens took the titles off of him because I'd like to see Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. I feel like that's a good match. I also feel like Cody is going to be a good match against Roman Reigns. It's just hard to see Cody beating him after everybody that Roman Reigns has already beat. So we'll see how that plays out. But after the match, we all know what happened. Paul Heyman busting out handcuffs out of nowhere. I don't know. He just planned this, I guess.
Yeah.
This was Sami Zayn's final test that he was talking about. Handcuffed Kevin Owens. We ended up getting a bunch of super kicks from the Usos. Roman was beating him down. He had a chair, handed Sami the chair, and then it was poetry in motion, man. Just like the Shield turn, we got Sami Zayn turning on the Tribal Chief, which led to a beatdown of Sami Zayn. This was cinema, dude. This was look, Conrad and his partner over there, Sean Hubbard, they did a podcast. It was called Blood In, Blood Out. It is so funny that he had this podcast named that, because I looked right at Michael when he was here and I said those exact words. Blood in, blood out. This was a gangster film, bro. Right before our eyes. And the one person that hated Sami the most, that took the most time to trust Sami Zayn, was the one that didn't participate in this beatdown, ended up walking out. What does this say for Elimination Chamber leading in, man? Like, I know you guys had some wild theories over on Clash of the Podcast this past Monday about, Jey Uso possibly getting in the mix. I mean,
won't be there in Canada. He's banned.
Yeah, no. They were like talking about WrestleMania, like Cody not even getting the well, Conrad wasn't talking about it. Sean was talking about it, but and the chat was all feeling it too, man. The chat was feeling it. They wanted Jey Uso night 1, Sami night 2, WrestleMania.
That's what he teased on. I think it was Instagram, like run it back.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things. I think it's always nice when you're sitting in a creative meeting for someone to sit in there and go, I know that this is what we're probably going to do, but what if? Hear me out. And then you just come up with something crazy like that. Like, what if we just flipped the script and just changed it? I like where this is going, but James brought up the interesting point that I liked, where it was, I thought Jey Uso's gonna probably like get involved some way somehow to screw Sami over, but he says he can't be there. So if he can't be there,
is it both of them?
I haven't seen them in Canada in a while. At least I can't think of it. Maybe
because of the record that they have. Yeah,
so they will not be there unless they do some video package or like via satellite.
Yeah, so I don't know when that happens or what they're going to do. So that makes it interesting. That gives them a whole nother thing. I think Sami's going to show out though. Like, he's in his hometown. He's going to rock this. He's going to crush it. You got options here, like with Sami. Sami's the most over guy on the roster right now, bar none. Like, it's him, and then Cody's like, if he's 1A, Cody's 1B, like right here. Those are the top two people. Those are the only guys that you can really do something with.
I don't argue it, man. But James had a big argument over in the Pro Wrestling Shoot chat. We're going to get into that right now, dude. So James believes that we should just scrap Cody, scrap the winner of the Royal Rumble, give it to Sami. They think that they're do the Montreal takeover, and Sami Zayn should be the one to carry the torch. And I'm here to tell you right now, Sami Zayn is not the guy. He's not the guy.
Well, that's what I thought with Kofi. And look, the chant.
And guess what? Kofi wasn't the guy either. He didn't hold the title long.
They still did it anyways, and that was during the Vince McMahon regimen.
Look, Kofi wasn't the guy, man. He didn't hold the title long. He's not one of those guys that you're not going to have a guy throwing out pancakes to your audience be your champion. I'm just going to throw that out there for one. For two, Sami Zayn has come out and said and acknowledged that he is not that long-term champion that WWE wants. Is he a transitional champion? Sure. We should give Sami Zayn the championship for a transition. You know what I mean? Should we give him this main event over Cody Rhodes and tell this and break this story that we've been building for a year and possibly talking about even beyond Cody even returning to WWE?
And I think this where it brings in, and I know you don't like this, but this is where they might just say throw a left curve. Yes, I know. It's probably more likely it's going to go through he's going to have the tag match with Kevin. They're going to beat the Usos, their new tag team, unified champions. But if they scrap that, I feel like they're going to, as much as we don't want that, they're going to split the titles. And Sami's going to, either they just have him fight for it and lose and Cody gets one.
That's disgusting.
That is what Triple H has talked about, that there's talks that they do want to split.
Well, Triple H has also talked about surprises in the Royal Rumble. So guess what? We all know that this guy doesn't come through on his promises. Triple H is not the one to be talking right now. I mean, his wife was the one saying, nothing's changing. Oh, by the way, I'm out. See you later. Like, dude, you take what these guys say with a grain of salt, man. They're really just coming to the public and saying what you want them to say. You know what I mean? They're telling you what you want to hear. But here's the thing, man. I don't put it past WWE to throw this as a triple threat match in WrestleMania, seeing how Elimination Chamber goes. Do I want a triple threat match? No. Do I want Sami Zayn to take it over Cody? Absolutely not. I feel like Cody has more to offer the company. I feel like Cody is not staying long, and I also feel like Cody has this in his contract. I've said this for months, man. I feel like there was some sort of negotiation. This was the only plan for Cody to come into WWE, and I think this is the only way that Cody crosses that board and goes to WWE is, look, I'm not coming unless you give me what my family rightfully deserves. And that's a title opportunity. I don't care if I have to wait a year to get to next year's WrestleMania. I'm not going to come right in and win the title. But next year, I'm getting my title. Now, if they swerve that in some way, cool. But the only thing that sucks is wrestling fans are so fickle, dude. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, wrestling fans want certain things, and then they change their mind. It's like that toy that you just get, and then a month down the road, you want a new toy. You know what I mean? You're never going to keep that one toy and play with it every day. You know what I mean? And it's still going to have that same feeling. I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen. That's exactly what the WWE universe plays with, or wrestling fans in general play with when it comes to professional wrestling. Look at the whole MJF situation. MJF's title run is stale. The man has not defended the title yet. You know what I mean? But yet it's stale. You see what I mean? Like Roman Reigns' title reign was great, right? How many times that boy defend the title this year? Not that much, right? Handful of pay-per-views, maybe. Can you count? Hogan. Can you count on two hands, Conrad? How many times this boy's defended the title in 2022?
No, but I don't want the world champion on every show, though. I think that
Thank you.
This is what happened in the Attitude Era.
Preach.
You could go back and forth, and I get why the champion had to be on every night then, because it was like, dude, we're in the middle of a war. Like, these guys want us gone, and we want them gone. I need you here because the champion equals ratings. But how did that get to that point? Oh, that's right. In the 80s, if you were the champ, you didn't show up all the time. Ric Flair was not on WCW every week. Hulk Hogan was not out there dropping leg drops on Rick Martel. They let the other guy shine, and you might get an interview package with him. You might see him in some highlight clips, but this dude was working the road instead. Like, he was bringing, that's where the money used to come from. Yeah. So I guess I'm giving like a history lesson with it, but
no, it's, you're spitting facts, dude.
Here. You don't need to be there all the time and on the show. Is there a point to where it gets ridiculous? I think Brock was that point of ridiculousness where it's like, all right,
that
this
was
dude
the
ain't
last
never
one,
here.
probably. Yeah, and that was a very big stiff to people. Hey, where's the champion? Oh, he won't be here for about 3-4 months.
That's why I never understood the whole I don't want a part-time champion. You know what I mean? Like when wrestling fans started saying that, I don't want part-time champion. Well, what do you want? The title defended every single week? It builds no prestige, for one. For two, if you're defending it every single week, you're eventually going to run out of opponents. I mean, you're about to have Roman Reigns defending it against Ricochet if that's the case. You know what I mean? Which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for. But is Ricochet that guy? Nope. He's not going to be Roman Reigns.
I think I can hear the fans on some of it. So I don't think wrestling fans are just complaining to complain. I think it just becomes so loud with certain people that it's bad. But when they're saying that, maybe it's when I go to a house show, I want to see Brock Lesnar. Why isn't he here? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no opportunity to see him. This dude's just sitting at home, and you know he doesn't really like wrestling. So that you feel that you're like, nah, he ain't really about us. He don't care. He's just here to get his bread, and that's it. And Vince is enamored with him because he's big. He's an athlete. He's got everything I want. And you're like, dude, no.
I'm still hopeful that Vince isn't involved in the whole creative process. I mean, after watching this Royal Rumble, I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell. Like, I watched this. This did not seem like anything out of what Vince McMahon would have done.
Kind of felt Vince-esque.
Do you feel like there was a switch that flipped for this? Like, when did you start feeling like this isn't Triple H anymore, or is it you can't tell?
As soon as the men's Royal Rumble was complete, and I seen that whole Royal Rumble, how it all played out, everything from Rey Mysterio not entering, not replacing, not saying, look, Rey got hurt on SmackDown, so we cannot he's not cleared to compete tonight. So therefore this guy is taking his place. So now it's all janky. Like Cody Rhodes didn't go through 30 people. He went through 29. Actually, Cody Rhodes didn't go through any of them. He came out at number 30, which is another thing that was really weird. Like, if you're not going to give us any surprises, why did you even let us know Cody was coming back? Let him come out at number 30 and get that pop.
You kind of felt like they killed that surprise vibe. Like, why do you announce it, man? I don't know if it's just oh, well, hey, Rock's not coming, so we're just going to announce Cody right ahead just to get everyone on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, dude, because Cody Rhodes got a pop at Royal Rumble. It was loud. It was good enough. But could you imagine the pop he would have gotten if we didn't know he was going to be there?
Yeah, especially with that setup. It reminds me of the O2 Triple H stuff. Once again, like, it's so delivered and executed. You're like, I can see this a mile away. I'm gonna play a little contrarian though to the comments. What did you just say, Jesse? Now my brain just slipped for it live on air.
I said that the pop. Are you talking about the last thing?
Yeah,
I said that the pop was loud when he came out, but it would have been 10 times better if we hadn't known that he showed up.
100% with
easily.
As far as that, like, yeah, you had to pace it better as far as the Royal Rumble goes and your setup for it. You want to make people like it. It was the Rey Mysterio thing. That's what I wanted to get back to.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Rey Mysterio, at least they came out with the mask to say, like, oh, it was Dominic, and then they just beat up Rey Mysterio.
That's what I
took
thought.
His mask. That was fine. I was like, okay, at least you told a story within it, and that's what I care about in the Rumbles. You're telling a story like Seth and Logan. Okay, this might be a match, or maybe it's Ricochet and Logan Paul for next month. I don't know, but they're setting you up for something.
They always do that.
It's setting up for the Mania match that we know that is going to happen between Rey and Dom. But here's the thing. Then you got stupid people on the internet like, well, Rey Mysterio never entered, and Cody jumped over the top rope afterwards. So guess who's the real winner of the Royal Rumble? Shut your mouth.
That's right.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
WrestleMania
Curtis Axel's still waiting,
baby. Curtis Axel.
That's just like every time I see that, I'm like, shut your mouth. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yo, you want to hear a crazy fact I never thought of until this week that I never heard anybody say? Yo, Scotty 2 Hotty won the 2005 Royal Rumble. He came out, he made his entrance, and then he got beat up on the ramp. And then Cena and Batista both went over. So technically, Scotty 2 Hotty should have came off and like, it's me, baby. The Worm's going to Mania. I never thought about that. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, dude, it's just ridiculous. So RSTV says we need separate nights of both championships separately. Cody wins the WWE Championship and Roman as the Universal Champion. He only puts the WWE Championship on the line against Cody, not both titles. And that is our cue to go to break. And when we come back, we are going to explain why that is a terrible idea and why we think that both these titles need to be unified forever. We'll be right back. Right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Pro Wrestling Shoot listeners, this is Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling, here to let you know that Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And every Monday, we are live on YouTube with our classic show, Clash of the Podcast, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to myself and my tag team partner, Sean Hubbard of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, talk all the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Also on our YouTube channel, live every Wednesday following AEW Dynamite, myself and Derek bring you the live post-show coverage. Make sure you guys are tuned in to check us out. And did I mention we are also on audio platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Now, let's get back to listening to the guys of the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
All right, we're back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. RSTV, I appreciate you joining, man, but here we go. Like, I'm going to have to tear down this comment just because this was the whole reason why we were going to get on here today. It wasn't just about the Royal Rumble. There's been a lot of clamor about what they need to do with these titles, right? We have the Elimination Chamber coming up. The United States title is determined in the Elimination Chamber match, which I think is a fantastic idea. In the Royal Rumble, you had the Intercontinental title, the Intercontinental Champion last from number 1 and have the longest time spent in the Men's Royal Rumble with Gunther all the way to the end, making this possibly the strongest Intercontinental Champion we've seen in a long, long time. It really made this title mean something, even though we haven't seen this title defended on a pay-per-view. These are the only two titles that I need to see split. The only two, because we still have this dumbass brand split going on. And even if we didn't, back in the day, we've always had two mid-card titles. We've had the Intercontinental title, the European title. On AEW, today, you still have the TNT title, and you have the All-Atlantic Championship. WCW had three mid-card titles, I guess, if you want to call Cruiserweight a mid-card. They had the Cruiserweight title, they had the TV title, and they had the United States title. Countless promotions. And if you want to go all the way back to Jim Crockett, they had about 16 mid-card titles. So if you want to look back in time, mid-card titles were the thing. Look, if you want to build prestige to your world title, you use these titles. That's the only thing that I'm worried about on the Elimination Chamber is if we are getting a match between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns for the world title, then that kind of takes away from the United States Championship, because I feel like that's your main event. You need to build that title as good as they have been building it. Like, I feel like they've done a great job with this United States title. You have names like Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, now Austin Theory holding the title. It's elevating Austin Theory, even though I'm still not really a fan. I think he looks cooler with the beard, but that has nothing to do with his wrestling. He did put on a good match. What was it, Raw 30 against Bobby Lashley. I did enjoy that main event, which was probably the first time I'll ever say that for a Austin Theory match. But my point being is, these mid-card titles need to be built to your main event as well. Am I wrong for saying that? Like, these mid-card titles need to be built up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it was always a skeptical. So when I started watching wrestling, you had your mid-card titles. They weren't like they were there. They were just bone dry. They weren't as elevated.
For the record, tell the chat and everybody listening when you started watching wrestling, James, because you're a young.
No, I'm not remembering.
You're still a babe in the wrestling
I mean,
game.
technically, the first time was when I saw Cena do a promo. No, the first time was
it's okay, Conrad. You can laugh at that.
No,
it's
the first
laughable.
time was Hogan and McMahon, and but like we were going back on, like the world title was always like the main attraction. That was the big thing, and we always cry and bitch as wrestling fans of this person not being of it, they're not being of it. It's a different prerogative because you kind of like we have discussed in the chats. It was always cooler for the chase, for someone chasing for the title, and would be number of pay-per-views trying to chase and get the world title. And with, you have, I know it's been back and forth with many people. We should split the titles. We should keep the titles. If you think about it, it kind of does push the element to it of, hey, who's going to beat the guy? It's going to put title reigns probably a little longer than what we're used to. I mean, the mid-card titles used to split, it used to be, oh, hey, someone dropped the title within a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The most you've had is like 3-4 months span. And now you're kind of putting more elevation to the mid-card looks, and that person can get elevated. And then eventually down the road, hey, you can push them, try to get them for the world title. We did see it with Roman a number of times, getting superstars that had no business whatsoever, that probably never even got a world title shot. We had when Cesaro got a title shot, So, I mean, we've been going back and forth with it, but generalized, I mean, they need to do the one title. It's settled there. I mean, it's been
okay. We're going to get into why they need to have. You're talking one mid card title.
No.
Okay. No, yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get into the world title and why that is. But Conrad, what do you think about building up these mid card titles to your main event status? AEW is doing a great job about it. Darby Allin's your main event every single Dynamite, defending this title.
I'm a big fan of the climb. James had just brought it up. We were talking about it. There's something about the dog chasing the car that means more than all of that other stuff. I find it hard to see Seth Rollins as the world champ, and then he goes backwards to being like the U.S. champ. This is why I know people be like, why do you hate Seth Rollins? So many people get on my case about that, and I don't care.
No. The whole thing about you and Seth Rollins is fine. I think you make a valid point about going backwards. Because going backwards, we've never done that, right? Like, we never really did that. Like, Macho Man, when he went for the Intercontinental title, he went from the Intercontinental Championship to the World title, correct? And he stayed at that top level. So I get what you're saying. But we have let these mid-card titles fall to the wayside for so long that now desperate times come for desperate measures, correct? Like, we need our top guys to go back down a notch and elevate these titles a little more.
See, you see it like that. I see it as it hurts them even more. Like, listen, there's no room for you right now, but I got this for you. So take that. You're just throwing the mid-card belt at him. Like, what does that mean? Who's he gonna face? Who's been
it's kind of like a downgraded demotion.
So what about like Ricochet as your Intercontinental Champion? Did you enjoy that run? Because I don't think
he the IC champ?
Yeah. So it didn't elevate him at all.
Wait, he was US? Was he IC champ?
I think it was IC.
It was IC. Yep.
Really? When
the Intercontinental Champion, wasn't he on SmackDown?
Gunther beat him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was.
See?
Yep.
See?
So that's
sorry, guys. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, you put these, like, WWE has done a piss poor job at building up their roster. Let's just go on and say that. Okay. There's a lot they like you said earlier in our chat that everybody in here right now and everybody listening weren't privy to. You said it perfect. We have put all of our cards on Roman. All of our money is stacked on Roman. Roman this, Roman that, Roman headlining, Roman and Brock, Roman and this guy, Roman, it's all Roman. We've spent so much time on Roman that we have no time for anybody else on your mid-card status. So, I mean, what do? You know what I mean? You put the title on somebody like Ricochet, you put the title on somebody like Xavier Woods, you put the title on even Kofi Kingston, even though Kofi Kingston's been an Intercontinental Champion, back when the IC title actually looked cool, if I might add. So it just didn't work out, you know what I mean? Like, back in the day, we had, like, big name IC champions. Big names. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Jeff Jarrett even was a big name to hold the title at one point.
Take it easy with that now.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Don't piss me off, all right? No. So I'm telling you, like, that's what it was, though. You know what I mean? We had a bunch of stars to put that title on. Right now, our mid-card status is so small. We have Chad Gable. We have Otis. And these guys are supposed to be a tag team, but that's who we have. You know what I mean? Gunther is the strongest IC champion that I've seen in a while.
And there's nothing wrong with being the lifer. Like, there's nothing wrong with being Razor Ramon. Like, no. He was never going to be the world champ, apparently, in someone's mind. But you could challenge for it and still make people believe, like, yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. You know, as long as you're paying me, who cares? But you have to make those championships mean something. And the best way to do it, to me, is you have people feud over those belts. Like you said, you brought up Triple H and Rock. Triple H and The Rock have this is my favorite rival for The Rock. I know some people be like, oh, it's Stone Cold. I'm like, no, it's Triple H, bro. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rocky Maivia, DX versus The Nation, The Rock versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he was still like in that DX period. Then when they were both main eventers, blockbuster. Every time you watch them rise together, that's why people love the feud. Like, it's great.
One of my absolute favorite ladder matches back in Highway to Hell, SummerSlam. Yeah. So it was amazing. I put it number 2 on that list. My very first, my favorite ladder match is obviously Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. Singles ladder match, that is. You know what I mean? But for like a singles match for the title in a ladder match, I give that to Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. But that Rock match versus Triple H is up there. So good. I can rewatch that all the time and still never get bored of it. That feud was great, dude. It was great. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we don't have the options. We don't have the big name status to hold these titles.
But that's their fault.
I'm not saying it's not. It is definitely their fault. That's what I'm saying. So why, like, you can't really blame them for going backwards is what I'm saying, because Seth Rollins is,
so right now we're in that like era transition. There's a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound right now. And what they need to do is say, yo, Like going forward, Gunther is not to lose unless Triple H books it. Like, and I'm telling you, like on house shows, he does not lose. This man does not lose.
No, they're trying to book him like as strong as possible. And this is where we went about it of, we shouldn't split the world titles because, like Jesse has told us a number of times, well, one champion's going to get overshadowed by the other. The one's going to be the bigger star compared to the other one. And I was in there saying, well, they might as well, as piss poor booking they've done, you have one champion, which Gunther has been dominant, which he's probably going to break the record. And you have Austin Theory, which is, he's not the big fan favorite to anyone. And I understand why they're putting him in the chamber match to somehow give him credibility, but I'm still kind of fence. I think they should do the one mid title.
And they could. I don't think it hurts anything if they did do the one mid title, but it's
I don't
gonna
believe
have to,
that. Like everyone should get a participation trophy. Like it
I
worked
agree.
with Roman. You have Gunther. You have your dominant champion. Okay.
I also don't believe that if you're over at the time, you don't need to be champion. James, Sami Zayn does not need to be champion just because he is over at the moment. Bray Wyatt, because he's an attraction, does not need to be champion just because he was hot as the Fiend.
Yeah, and guess what this company did? They went,
and they learned from their
Bray's
mistakes.
Champion.
Yeah.
Hey, Kofi, you're champion.
Yeah, I know, but I would think that they have learned from their mistakes. The Fiend was a ball drop. Kofi was a ball drop. Big E was a ball drop. There was no good title run out of those three. Go ahead, Conrad.
No,
you're trying to shout out here.
No,
the Big E one.
Ready.
Hold on. Let Conrad real quick.
No, I have an argument to this though. I think it did do good because all those years you shit on those mid-card people. I'm sorry, swearing's in now. We're 54
You're
minutes
good.
In. Yeah, they fucked over all those mid-card people for years. Dolph Ziggler, and then when Kofi Kingston won the title, number one, it meant a lot to people in the black community. Number one,
yeah, that's fantastic.
Because you never had an African WWE. I'm saying this specifically champion. Now, some people will argue the whole, Vince is racist and all that crap. Number one, I'm going to shut that down.
I think that's bullshit, too, because Booker T held the world title.
Oh, well, but people would just say, the world title was the secondary one. And we're going to get into that in a second, too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But in that situation, Vince McMahon would have gave Ahmed Johnson the world title if Ahmed Johnson would have listened and he could talk. But instead, go play Warzone, click his promo. You'll see exactly why I was like, nah, you can't do that, fam.
This boy bringing up Warzone. This is like PlayStation 1.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude. I'm just saying, go. It's on YouTube. His promos weren't that good. Ahmed did not listen. Maybe if you would have tried Ron Simmons putting in that spot, maybe it would have worked better. But you went with the wrong guy. So I don't think that's what it is with Vince at all. I think Vince sees people at certain levels and he books you at that level. Jess, you brought up the toy thing earlier.
Yep.
Fans like the new toy. You know what Vince does? Vince is the kid who breaks toys, and I'm like, yo, dog, you can't do this. Like what you said, you want Kofi to be taken serious. He can't come out with the pancakes and all that. He needs to be like, no, I'm serious, dog. Like the first night he came out and he faced, who was it? Seth was the other champ, I think, at the time. That was cool. That worked. But then as soon as he started throwing pancakes again, I was like, dog, you can't do that. And it made that title lesser.
There's no credibility.
I'm going to say what everybody should be thinking at this point, and Kofi Kingston should have been the world champion a long time ago when Randy Orton was the champion. That match that he had with Randy Orton should have passed that torch, and that's on Randy and WWE for not doing that because Kofi was hot. I mean, yeah, he was a silly Jamaican character, but it doesn't matter. Like,
but that's going back
Kofi
to
was
James's
hot.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Kofi at the time was look, Randy Orton was played out at this time. Everybody was sick of Randy Orton, dude. We got Randy Orton, Triple H, Randy Orton, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, Triple H. It was
Randy
those
was
three
hot
holding
before
it down.
that, though.
Randy was excellent when he first started and he got that title from Triple H. You know, the whole evolution thing, the evolution turn, all that stuff. I feel like Randy Orton was that was when I was the most interested in Randy Orton. But when
did he start punt kicking after?
Yes.
Yeah.
That, or was it before? When he started doing that, he got hot. Like
it was past the whole Legend Killer thing.
Yeah,
legacy time. Yeah.
And this is when he had the championship. Was during the legacy time that he could have passed it to Kofi, and he didn't pass it to Kofi. He was boring in legacy, bro. He was boring in legacy. I look. I'm a Cody fan. All right. The only person I was rooting for in that group was Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
period.
No,
Like, I wanted Cody to succeed, man. I'm a Dusty Rhodes fan. You feel
I
me?
want to see all them Ted DiBiase fans with me. You better be honest right now. I thought Ted was the guy. I was like, yo, Ted might be the one.
Ted had the look, dude. I have
look.
nothing against Ted DiBiase. I thought it was really cool to see Ted's son in there, Dusty's son in there. I thought that group had so much potential. I feel like Randy Orton drug it down to me. Like that was the fact. Like even though he's third generation, or was it second generation, third generation? I think it was third. Third generation. That was the whole gimmick. I feel like we could have gotten somebody else to fill that role. But either way, we're getting off topic. Kofi Kingston should have had that title years ago. When he won it now, it was more like, here, we owe you this. You know what I mean? The fans just kind of took that over. Same with Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson was a great wrestler from the get-go.
This was a whole different thing, was that the company...
He deserved it.
Yeah,
he
the
deserved
whole company
it.
thing was like, oh, well, we don't believe that you're a champion. You don't have the size. You don't fit there.
Yeah, well, the whole size thing is what's screwing them over, and that's what's making it unbelievable. But the whole point is, so RSTV is in here, and we're going to talk about the world titles. He said that they have done this before. They have already done that with one champion. The reason why we need to keep these titles merged is because, dude, there's always going to be that champion. You said it just a few minutes ago when there was the world title. Booker T held the world title. Oh, well, that's the world title. That's less than. You know what I mean? Dude. And we shouldn't have to feel this way. If you were the top guy, you're the top guy. There's no need to have two top guys, because that takes it to what James said. Now we're handing out participation trophies. Here, we're going to make you the top guy.
If you look at it from the other way,
even though we have another top guy on the other show who draws better, who has more merch sales, and he's the real draw, we're just going to give you this title just so the fans don't cry about it, right?
And here's
that's,
the other way I could
that's a
see
terrible reason to have two titles, man. And it builds zero prestige, too. Zero.
See, and I think this is as a pain, this is a problem that's happening. I'll put this way. I can see why people want split titles. This is a problem in the NBA where you buy tickets, very expensive. You go there, hey, the star player, yeah, they're sitting out. And I think for some fans' perspective, you buy tickets. Oh, I think Roman Reigns is going to be there. Oh, he's not there. Oh, well, I wanted to see a champion. And some people's mindset was, back in the day, hey, at least I'm going to see a world champion. So I don't know. Could I see them doing it? I could see Triple H saying, hey.
But is that Roman's fault that we run 48 fucking pay-per-views a goddamn year?
It's not
that's what I'm saying. Like, we're running 40, like, so many pay-per-views. Like, sometimes you get two a month now.
For someone that does it,
like, dude.
If you take someone to a wrestling event, hey, I want to see the world champion. Oh, there's only one, but he's not going to be there. Oh, well, I feel like I'm getting ripped off, or even for kids. Hey, I want to go see Roman Reigns. Oh, he's not there. Well, that's what I wanted to see. And I think that was their way of, well, we need two split champions. At least you can see a champion regardless, instead of, oh, I see the U.S. champion. Oh, I see this guy. Well, where's the world champion? That's the one I care about.
Okay.
And
that's the problem. That's the problem right there, is like, we have conditioned fans in the WWE. Well, we haven't. The WWE has conditioned fans to only care about one guy. That's the problem.
But yes, I do agree with it. I mean, I still stick with it. I thought they were going to unify the women titles, the tag titles.
We should.
The tag titles, yeah, leave them alone, because you don't even have enough tag teams, so it's perfect.
Yeah, keep them unified.
I'll still go with it. Sorry,
Conrad. How many tag teams we got in the WWE?
Shit.
2, 3, 4, maybe.
Usos, Otis and Chad, Street Profits, Hit Row. Are you? If we're talking about credible, not many.
Okay, I'm just asking about how many tag teams in general, because right now
Rhodes.
even AEW is kind of lacking in the tag team department because we got the trios now. So, how many tag teams in general? Like, how many tag teams in general do you need? Here's a better question. How many tag teams in general do you need to run two separate titles on two different rosters? Like, you're going to need at least 5 tag teams per roster, correct? To make it, so you're not running the same match.
In a year.
Yeah. How many times did we get the Street Profits and the Usos?
Jeez.
A lot for that summer months, yeah.
Did we get like four of them? Four of them in 2022?
And it would be dragged on for about 4 pay-per-views, just about.
Okay, we got that match 4 times in 2022. We have the New Day too, and we sent them to NXT. So that makes a lot of sense. Like, I don't know why we did that. I understand they wanted to win those titles, but dude, we're hurting on the main roster right now. We ain't got no damn tag teams.
I think politically the New Day could see some of this stuff as like shots too, though. Like, why did they break our record reign? And it's like, well, they're with Roman, and it was like, okay, but you also, you know what I mean? If New Day complained, everyone would look at them and they'd be like, they got a point, like that you did them way worse than you did this group.
Well, the New Day also like carried down. They're like the one tag team that we didn't break up. We tried. We split up Big E and Kofi and Xavier off the you know what I mean? We split them up.
Yeah.
So,
but they keep it together as the brotherhood. Listen, James brought up the NBA. How many NBA champions are there, James, at the end of the year when you watch the big finals game?
Oh yeah, one. I think it's like looking at it this way.
That's it. There ain't no two best. That's bullshit. You cannot walk around and tell me there are two best.
Like you got to look at it as a champ. Like I could see it from a customer's point of view. You know, look, okay, for an NBA game, if you go to an NBA game, hey, the Lakers are coming to town and you can only see them like twice a season. Oh, hey, the star players aren't playing. Well, what am I paying all this ticket money for? Just to, you know, I can see it from their perspective.
Here's another question. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, they're going against the Eagles or vice versa. Whoever wins the Super Bowl, what does that make the other team?
The runner-up or the
runner-up, dude. That's what it is. Champion. That is exactly what it is. It is the runner-up. You are the secondary champ. Like, you are not the champion. You're not the guy. And that's what we're doing with our titles right now. Look, my whole point is Cody Rhodes has the chance. If all, you know, he's over here on Instagram showing pictures of the winged eagle and all this stuff. Look.
Don't tease me, Cody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, we have a chance to see some history come back into play, and I would like to see that personally because these titles are garbage. They're garbage.
No,
like, I hate every single title that is in the WWE right now. There is not one single title that is good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that. Like, you show me a garbage AEW title, I'm gonna tell you.
You don't like the US?
No, I don't like the US.
It looks like
I thought the original US sucked too. The only US title that ever meant anything to me was either the NWA US title or
WCW
or the WCW title. Both US titles in WCW. I enjoyed both of them.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the only US title. I've always, well, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I really like the IWGP United States title too. That belt looks beautiful. So. That's another United States title.
I'm surprised they didn't decide this with like Roman. I'm surprised he hasn't knocked the door. Hey, I want the unified champion. I want the wing. I want some sort of, you know, because I thought it was ridiculous.
He is He's like the representative of that bullshit that they're carrying right now. That's why would he want that? Those are his titles. Like,
yeah, I know it makes you look. Yeah.
Go ahead,
let me hit you with why they don't do it though. Let me hit you with that corporate propaganda, James.
Looks like a toy.
Grab your second belt. No, not even the toy thing. That's for that top one. Grab your second belt that's sitting behind you.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about the second one. Yeah.
No. But
flip your camera and show it real quick, James.
Show your belt real quick because I'm going to show you exactly why.
You can just turn your camera a little bit.
There you go. You see that championship? You know why? Because every time they give those belts out to the teams, what is the first logo you see on that belt? It's the WWE logo.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly why they do this. It's because they want everybody to say, "Oh, look, it's the WWE belt. I can see it from all the way up here. Yeah, that's pretty cool." You know, the moms and dads are all saying it. It's a political thing, or not political. It's more like, how do we get our name out there more? How are we advertising this? What do we get from this? You know, and I get it why they do that. But to me, there's something about having. I hate with all these custom belts. Like, stop doing that shit for everybody. I like.
Are you talking about the TNT? The TNT,
like the TNT, like the straps, even the big
or the side plates, and just the side plates.
Yeah, I'm like, no, dog. Let that person. When you hold that belt, it meant something. Like when people hold up big gold, I'm like, yo, that means something, bro. Like Ric Flair held that title, or
they didn't do those side plates.
As much as I like the Big Eagle when it was introduced to Stone Cold Steve Austin after he won at WrestleMania, I was hurt. I was like, what do you mean you're getting rid of that, dude? That title is everything. Everybody held that title. Like, why are we getting rid of the Winged Eagle? So I think if Cody was to bring that back, bro,
I think he just needs a bigger version of it, though. I don't want him to have it like now. It looks rinky-dink compared to the other ones. You guys are belt collectors too.
Yeah.
Like that belt is smaller than most of the other world championships. I have that with the Winged Eagle belt behind me, and I'm like, yo, dog, like that's pretty rough, man. Like you can't have it be the same size, but you could still reimagine it on a bigger strap, though, and you could do something.
Bro, I have the original Universal title behind me. As a matter of fact, that shit is for sale too because I'm tired of looking at it. I am a fan of like the old school belts. I don't know why. I think I bought this because when it first came out, it was the hot thing. I was like, oh, I really like that red strap. You know what I mean? So I got it because of the red strap only. But now that I look at it next to my all my like classic belts, the big gold, the Winged Eagle, the Big Eagle, like the old school IC title and the oval IC title. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, dude, this title just. It's garbage. Like I got that one for sale and the WWE Cruiserweight title for sale. Anybody want to hit me up on Twitter at TPWS
I'll give you a
Podcast. I'll give you a discount. That shit is for sale. I'm trying to get me something else, man. I'm trying to pick up that AEW title. I went into a raffle this weekend for the AEW title, lost by 2 numbers. James was in that same raffle, man. We paid $35. The belt at $800, by the way. That replica, $800 for the official replica, and it was on this raffle. And so if I would have won, I would have gotten it for $35. So
it's the most beautiful out of all the world titles. I love the
and,
NXT
and Dave
UK.
Milliken made it. It makes sense. Dave Milliken made the Winged Eagle. So
yeah, dude. They've got great looking belts. It's just how you present them and how you use them. Like we said, can't be too best. I think you should personally unify the belts on the rosters as many as you can. And the only titles you could really need as exclusive would be the IC and US. So that way you're building that roster. Then everyone's put on brands. But if you're a champion, you can go back and forth. And then that'll be like, well, let's put the title on someone who's a ratings draw then. So that way when they go back and forth, we can give a bump a little bit to the other show. That's how you do it, in my opinion.
100% agree, man. But these titles need to stay unified.
Don't fuck around in the draft. People will always hate me for that. They're like, oh, stop complaining. You're complaining about something stupid. No, it's not. It's fucking stupid that I sat there on a Monday night and watched a draft and then you don't even fucking follow the rules. Fuck you.
Oh, well, there's an exception. But you know, Conrad, there's a rules, exceptions.
I agree, dude. The whole draft, like, if you're going to keep a draft, cool. If you unify the titles, do it the way that we did it before. Look, if you're going to be the top guy of this company, like, and by top guy, I don't just mean the world champion. I mean, like, if we're going to unify the Intercontinental and the United States title, you're a top guy. If you're the tag team champions, you're top guys. If you're the women's champion, you're the top girl. You know what I mean? Like, this is a part of the job description. You travel to both shows. You supply USA, you supply Fox with both of their championships. I don't give a shit what they're saying. Oh, no, we want exclusivity. No, well, then you don't get the deal. There are plenty of networks out there willing to pay to have you on their network that you can have both champions on there. This is just a cop-out from WWE and always has been,
Spike
man.
was like that for some time, and then they eventually said, yeah, well, sorry, Spike, we're changing directions.
Yeah, exactly. So that anybody is willing to pick up the WWE at this point. Anybody. Look at all the people willing to buy it. Dude, fucking Amazon is willing to buy it. What does that tell you? I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna buy it, but dude, there's a network out there. I'll bet you even TNT would run WWE on a Monday night. They'd be fools not to. You know what I mean? Like you're still drawing more than 2 million people every Monday or Friday. So look, that's a good television show in my opinion. You need to keep the titles unified, and if you're the top guy, you're the top guy. You're traveling to both shows. If you don't want that opportunity, then fine, stick to Raw. Only travel Mondays. You know what I mean? Like that's your choice, but you'll never get that push. And that's just my opinion on it, dude. Like it's ridiculous having a champion that is less than, because we can name the 2 champions right now. Like, you know, the only time that I felt like 2 champions were any good together was probably when Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero won the titles. Am I lying when I'm saying that? Huh?
No, they felt even.
It felt even. That was like the only time.
They had this back in the day. They had one women. When I got into the games, they had one women's title. You had a cruiserweight title, and then you had your mid titles, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I had no problems with it back then.
When Kurt Angle was the WWE champion and Triple H was the world champion going into WrestleMania 19, who do you think was the bigger draw right there?
That depends, because they were trying to put shine on Triple H. See, I disagreed with you on this, but I didn't comment when we were talking about this in the group. I think Kurt Angle was the guy, but I think they knew Brock was the guy. But they had to get it. They had to get it to Brock.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were like, no, but Triple H is important, so we need to make sure he is the most.
He still needs to be the big man in the end, even though, let's be realistic.
But when you're looking at when you're looking at it from my perspective, I'm looking at the big gold. This is a title that Dusty Rhodes held, Ric Flair held. This title is passed down from generation to generation. And then I'm looking at this bougie ass undisputed title. You know what I mean? Like, which one am I gonna think is more prestigious? I'm going with the big gold, man. That title has more prestige. So that's why when Booker T finally did win that title, I was like, he's the champ, dude. He deserves it. He deserved it in WrestleMania 19 and didn't get it. You know what I mean?
But when Big Gold's open in WrestleMania 27, it loses its prestige to me, though. Like when I saw Edge and Alberto Del Rio, and I think Edge won the Rumble that year, I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, well, and it was also with
or did Del Rio win that year?
Was it Bryan Danielson one year too with it?
Edge retained.
Yeah. Yeah, that was with Sheamus. Sheamus won, and then Danielson lost in like 13 seconds.
13 seconds,
and it was the opener too.
Yeah, that's trash, bro. Like,
but WWE did that on purpose, though.
Right, and they tell you what
because
they
the
think
WWE title is what means the most.
You're
but that's what I'm saying. Why even have the world title? That's the whole like participation trophy.
And having two world titles hurts the mid-card titles, because guess what? The person who's the world heavyweight champion usually would have been the Intercontinental champion. It would have been Sheamus and Bryan Danielson for the IC title, and that probably would have meant more than having, let's just put the belt on this person, put him in Money in the Bank at the time. Like, what? What are we doing, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. So RSTV, I think that answers your question right there. Like, I understand some people want to see this split and they see it from a different perspective, but look, I would rather have one title mean more in this situation. I would rather that title match be a big fight feel, in my opinion, because like if you have two champions, one is always going to be less than the other. It doesn't matter. Like, it's always going to happen. When Drew McIntyre held one title over Roman Reigns, guess what? Roman was still the guy. When Big E held the title and Roman Reigns held the other one, Roman Reigns was still the guy.
This is where I go back. I think they should have one mid title. I'll still be on top of that. I mean,
I'm okay with having two mid titles just because of the roster size. If you're
going to condense the other ones, you have a guy that's going to break a record in a few months.
Let me ask this: do you need the brand split at this point, or is it like forget it? Because then you're going to be tempted to double book people though that are popular, and you're not going to give chances to other people too.
I don't think you need it at all. Look, I think AEW is doing it right now. Look, there was a lot of guys that Tony Khan struggles every single week to get somebody some TV time, correct? Like, but he does it. He does a good job, and he's trying it. And then you get the fans like, yeah, but now we're deviating away from a storyline that I wanted to see that started last weekend, right? Look, if you're not over, you ain't getting TV time. Raw wants to compete for ratings, and they want to keep getting ratings. SmackDown wants to keep getting ratings. They want to please these networks. You have your top stars on your show. You don't have Chad Gable and Otis, you know what I mean, coming out here and doing Chippendale dancing and stuff like that. Like, as much as I love Chad Gable, I think he's hilarious. Look, dude, you put Roman on one show or on both shows. You put Seth Rollins on both shows. You put Cody on both shows. You put Sammy. You put KO. Dude, there's enough to fill that 3-hour card of Raw if you take all of your top stars and fill that card right. But even with 3 hours, it's still 3 hours.
Is it enough, though, to get dudes like us in our 30s to go and watch SmackDown on a Friday, though? Like, that's still a horrible day.
Friday's a terrible time. Like, it doesn't matter what I think, because you just can't get me to watch wrestling on Friday. I'm going to go back and watch highlights.
Go back to Thursdays when it was on YouTube.
I say go back to Tuesdays.
I like SmackDown. What was that? SmackDown Live when they had that. I loved that. That was the best.
And when I got into it, I thought Thursdays was a better day.
Tuesday's better because you can do those package deals for your pay-per-views too, just like what me and you did, James, for Survivor Series, TakeOver War Games, Raw, and SmackDown. You got 4 days of wrestling. You can sell them at a package deal for your $20,000 a ticket, whatever you wanted to do for WWE. The ticket prices are out of control right now for the WWE. It's insane. But that's just where I'm seeing it for title matches, and I've never liked the draft. I think the draft is just a terrible idea in general. I think you have a roster, use it. Utilize your roster on both shows. You want to get top ratings? Look, there are people tuning into Raw that don't tune into SmackDown. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Yeah. So why not combine that? And dude, you don't know. You get what, 2 million, 2.5 million sometimes on SmackDown. You get 1.5 million to 2 million on Raw. How do you know that, 1 million people are not watching Monday Night Raw or not watching SmackDown because a certain superstar is not on there? You don't know that until you put them together.
Or until Fox starts telling you, I want this person too.
Like Bray.
Yeah, well, that's I'm hoping all that crap changes personally, but we'll have to see, guys. It's time to promote our favorite sponsor over at Manscaped.com. We will be right back right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Yo, we got some breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, this technology behind the Beard Hedge Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using our promo code PWSHOOT to save 20% off plus free shipping. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard. Say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Beard Pro Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. That's right, face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. Plus it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't end there though. They have created 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. First, there is the beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember all your hair is different. All of it. Your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioner specifically designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped Beard Oil, an essential piece for your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry. The oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine. Cap off the kit with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellows or dames. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off plus free shipping with that promo code PWSHOOT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use that promo code PWSHOOT. Manscaped. Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. All right, we're back here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Guys, we're going to talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite. There was a lot of good stuff that happened during Dynamite last week. We finally got that tribute for Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe had his funeral this past week, right? So Tony Khan was really cool about that. We've seen a lot of WWE faces there. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I'm sure others. But in the pictures, we only seen Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens from what I've seen. I don't know if you guys have seen more, but beautiful tribute, man. Beautiful tribute. We got Mark Briscoe to wrestle Fantastic. He went all out. No pun intended. Thoughts? How was your feeling on this tribute show that the Warner Brother Media finally let him have?
Yeah, it was a masterpiece. Getting the news, Conrad shared it to us, I think after like 5-6 minutes after they promoted it, like, hey, yeah, he's gonna be on the show. And him and Jay Lethal have parted and said they want to wrestle each other. And I mean, it was a big shocker, and it was what would needed to happen, and it was just so excellent you know, seeing Mark wrestle, and I mean, the fact that it was the main event, like many of us predicted, it was beautiful-esque. It was, I mean, the way Tony handled this, he tried everything he can, and you got a Briscoe on Dynamite, and I thought everything elevated from the match to the ending with all the stars on the ramp, everyone hugging each other. It was, it was perfect.
Conrad?
Yeah, this one hits pretty hard. It's kind of different for me, only because I knew those three in a different way. I interacted with them a lot. The Briscoes and Jay Lethal are super close, for those who don't know. And I thought it was really cool. Like when some people were like, I don't know if he wants this match. I'm like, nah, he definitely wants it. Like I wouldn't say that just if I never met them too much. And Mark's probably the one I talked to the least out of all of them, but I know that this is a good dude. Like he always was trying to tell people like keep their head up, stay positive. And from the rumors I heard, Mark Briscoe was the one like lecturing people backstage who were hurt, sad, crying about it, and he was just helping other people out. And I thought that was really cool of him. Even his eulogy was kind of off the cuff, but he spoke truth about his brother, and I thought that was a nice thing. And I'm glad that they got to showcase what they do on Dynamite. Like it was worth it, and I hope that I hope the roster appreciates Tony Khan for the stuff that he does for them, because he's one of the best when it comes to tributes, I think, out of all the promoters.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Pro Wrestling 1 said 100% on the belts, guys. Mr. Pro Wrestling 1 also says rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Yeah, dude, it was touching, man. I think I thought I was over it. Not over it, but it still hurts. Especially knowing that we're not going to get to see the Briscoes tag anymore. Like that's crazy to me. It's still hard to think about and process, just because they're such a phenomenal tag team, and we have very little great tag teams in the world of professional wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was going to be okay. I was like, all right, I'm going to be tough during this show. You know what I mean? I'm going to be okay. And then I seen Mark Briscoe come out with both belts, and bro, I lost it. Like I lost it. It's like, dude.
Even the video package earlier on, that was just
Yeah.
a setting for the show of what's going to happen at the end. And it was just straight up wrestling, no shenanigans, just two guys duking it out that are very close to each other. It was picture perfect. I mean, it's like Conrad said, he's the best. He's the best at doing tributes. We've seen it from the whole Brotherly tribute, and I know Tony would have done just as much as that. And getting Mark on there, it was just perfect.
I really, really just appreciate how they even like showcase Jay in the videos, like that he was a family man first, always talked about his kids, his family, and then you see him doing like the cheer dances with his daughter and stuff. It's a tearjerker moment, man. Like you don't want to think about that or see that, you know what I mean? It's important to tell the people that you love that you appreciate them every day. I know we're getting sentimental on here. Usually we're the ones, with the hard podcast talking about wrestling. But when I watched that match that night, it wasn't about critiquing the match.
Nope.
At all.
Not at all.
And I didn't care if there was a botch. I didn't care for a second, like, oh, they're not telling a good story here for the long term. I didn't care. I was like, yo, this is
none of it
cool.
mattered.
This is about
we're here to honor.
not even, it was like, it was therapeutic for the fans, for the wrestlers. It was just like a feel good moment.
It was such a good feel good moment that I didn't really like, no storytelling during that night even mattered to me. Like nothing that happened on that Dynamite, it was all thrown out the window. And I'm not saying that it was a bad Dynamite at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I feel bad. I feel bad for all the wrestlers that competed that night because I to this day I don't even remember it. And I know it was last week, but last week I don't remember anything. I just could not wait to get to that main event. As a matter of fact, I was watching the whole show on my phone. I was playing some Call of Duty and stuff like that. And anytime that they showed Jay Briscoe or anything about Jay Briscoe, I was watching, and I was also watching all the matches too. But I was just, I cannot wait to see Mark come out. I cannot wait to see him come out and just, tear the house down and be Mark Briscoe, man. And as soon as it was time for that main event, television switched over from Call of Duty, and I put the show on my TV just so I can watch it in big screen. And dude, I enjoyed every moment of it. And you're right, it was therapeutic. There was no critiquing about this match. It wasn't one of those matches where we can tear down like we did the Royal Rumble earlier. It didn't matter about the time limit. It didn't matter about anything that happened in this match. It was all therapy for the fans and probably the wrestlers involved and everybody watching backstage. It was an amazing moment, man. It was really cool. It was good to see Mark in good spirits. He was pumped, dude. He was pumped to be out there. He was so excited, and I'm almost positive that's what Jay would have wanted, was for him to go out there and show everybody what the Briscoes were about. And so I feel like he accomplished that, man. And it's, I don't know what the future holds for this, like whether it be ROH or AEW, but I would really hope to see Mark Briscoe continue on the big stage of AEW, not ROH. I want Mark Briscoe to be showcased on AEW. The dude has what it takes. If Warner Brothers has already given the go ahead for Mark Briscoe, what are we waiting for? You know what I mean? Sign this guy up, retire those ROH titles, get some new titles. I would say retire those titles, and the last people to hold those titles were the Briscoes. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's what.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, there's
suggest.
Already been talks about having a pay-per-view dedicated to Jay for was it Reach for the Sky?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Did you hear that fun fact that he got that from Toy Story?
Yeah,
how cool is that?
It reminded me of my brother, because that's my brother's favorite movie too, and I was just like, damn,
really?
like I said, it hits hard. Yeah, like when you just think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's my brother's favorite movie.
How cool is that, man? Like I didn't know that about him, so when I read that article, I was like, wow, that's
you were wondering,
it's perfect.
Right.
I love Toy Story, man. I got kids,
Yeah,
like I love that movie. So. Dude, my granddaughter's room is all Toy Story based. Like if you walked into her room, James, you've already seen it. Like the whole Toy Story theme. They got the clouds.
My little brother used to have the clouds.
And, yeah, it's crazy. Like, and you walk in there, it's every single Toy Story toy that's in the movie she has. So it's a Toy Story themed movie, man. So when I read that, I was like, wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, fun fact.
That's creative, Yeah, so this week on AEW Dynamite, man, we do have a pretty stacked card. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for some more professional wrestling to get my mind off of the shit show that was the Royal Rumble. Adam Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley again. I don't know why we're getting this again. How do you guys feel about it?
I don't think we are.
You don't think so? You think there's shenanigans involved? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
This is going to be
That's what I think.
BS.
Yeah, they've been teasing. Yeah, they're 1-1. Hangman's talking about possibly working with the Elite again. So let's see. But I agree with Conrad. I don't think the match is happening. Pretty sure it's going to go to pay-per-view.
I think we get a lights out at Revolution.
Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes the most sense.
I'm excited for Revolution, man. I'm really pumped about this pay-per-view. I feel like AEW has really stepped up their game in 2023. Every show in 2023 has been an absolute banger, other than the one show that we got the day after we heard the news of Jay Briscoe passing. I think everybody was just not feeling it, just because, and it's not AEW's fault. They had a great card lined up, everything, and then the fact that we couldn't get that tribute show, I think that just took the wind out of everybody's sails. But other than that, man, AEW has been killing it every single card. The production is getting better. The promos are getting better. The matches have always been top tier in my opinion. So nothing really to fix there. We are getting Take a Shitta Takeshita versus Brian Cage and Prince Nana in the quarter, man. I know that you're a fan of Prince Nana. Why don't you tell your Prince Nana story for the Pro Wrestling Shoot listeners?
All right. So Ring of Honor event. I went to, I can't remember what the year was now. 2010. I don't know. This is like during the Cornette era kind of Ring of Honor. And Prince Nana was there. And so me and my wife both probably have a really bad story where a wrestler like got us pretty good. But hers is the worst. So Prince Nana is there, and my wife's trying to like get back to her seat, and she's talking or whatever. She's like, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just trying to get over here." And Prince Nana turns around and sees her. He's like, "Girl, sit down and shut up." And she was like, "Is he talking to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's definitely talking to you." And Prince Nana said what I've always wanted to say for all my life. So he is my hero, Prince Nana. You are the man. and we still laugh about it.
Throw to the wife, man. Sit down and shut up. Yeah. So Takeshita versus Brian Cage. That should be a banger, man. We're featuring Brian Cage every single week, it seems like, on AEW. We got to see him on Dark and Dark Evolution. He's getting featured, man.
I know his contract is coming up. That I know of. I think it's like a few weeks.
Conrad and me were having this conversation earlier. Do you think that Brian Cage stays with AEW? Does he stay with AEW, or does he weigh the options and maybe see what WWE has to say?
I think if I'm him, I weigh the options.
Yeah, that's what
he's only the Ring of Honor 6-man tag. He's been on TV. I mean, it's been better, but has it been good enough?
Ever since his wife has complained about the whole when he was on TV briefly, yeah, I would totally.
I think people's wives need to stay out of grown folks' business. Matt Hardy and Brian Cage. So yeah, that's just my opinion, man. You gotta shut up these wives, man, when it comes to talking business.
Oh, you're not putting that heat on me, brother. I didn't.
Hey, I'm just saying, dude. You can't be throwing stuff out on social media when it's these guys' business to begin with. I think Brian Cage, when there's money on the table, if WWE's offering more, you take it. That's. It depends on them. Yeah, it just depends on the situation. You know what I mean? I would like Brian Cage to stay. I'm a Brian Cage fan. I've always been a Brian Cage fan. I've watched him on the Indies. I've watched him on ROH and MLW, all that stuff. So I like Brian Cage. Do I think he's like one of the top guys in AEW? Of course not, because they've pushed other people. Speaking of,
you know what I do if I'm him?
What do you do?
I sign a short-term deal. I say, listen, I'm your 6-man tag champ. Let's extend this out for 6 months. Why? Because then that gives you enough time to see what Vince and them are going to do, and then you can go renegotiate. Then you just say, keep me at the same money I'm at for 6 months. That's fine. That's what I would do, and try to see if I could pull that off.
Does Tony Khan do these little 6-month extensions?
Listen, I think he's got to be mindful of, you can't keep trusting people's word, because the day someone's going to pull the Lex Luger on you and be on Nitro like torture rag, baby.
Yeah. I've only heard of 5-year contracts from AEW. 2 to 5 years is what I've heard.
I think that's only for the top guys. I think you can do 3, but Tony likes to have those options. He NFLs your ass. Like, he's like, I'm going to keep you for a little bit.
Yeah. I'll give you extension.
That's the difference from Vince McMahon and Tony Khan, is Tony Khan has that NFL background and how contracts actually work for independent contractors. We get the Acclaimed in tag team action. We have not gotten a match announced for the Acclaimed. Maybe they face some jobbers, some jobberooskies. I don't know what's going on with that. Or
yeah,
maybe
I'm not sure.
Did they announced that match yet? Because I haven't seen it.
Not that I know of.
They're probably trying to do more build to their. I think it's going to be at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think them and the Guns, since the whole thing with the daddy ass and the whole thing, like, you stole our father. We just want those titles.
That family therapy last week, man. Jesus. Guys, if you're watching the video right now, leave a like on this, share it with a friend, and leave a comment afterwards. We'll reply. Helps us in the algorithm a lot. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, then leave a rate and review, man. Also helps us out. Share this podcast with a friend, and if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, man. We're here every single Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We get Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. Is this for the championship? TBS championship. This is
number 50.
On the line.
Yeah, number 50, and I think
so. So Jade's taking it then. We're not losing before we reach 50, are we?
I could plant some doubt real quick.
Yeah, I've heard
this.
this. Yeah, I've heard this. I don't know if Conrad's heard this. I think it was Red Velvet. I think that was her first match was against Jade, and I think that was her first loss. And I know people
Both their
contributed. Yeah, so that's where people are going to contribute to this. But maybe I'm pushing it too much. I think Jade's going to retain.
I think the same thing, but I'm just planting that doubt there. She was the first person to face Jade. This is number 50. Is there somebody better to eventually take it off? Because Jade's been riding high, but right now it seems like the other women are going to be locked up into like a big group storyline that they're promoting. At least that's what it looks like to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the one then? Like, I don't know. I don't know who it could be then for Jade.
I don't either, man. My guess was going to be Sasha Banks, and my guess was wrong, man. Look, last week on the podcast, I said if The Rock doesn't show up, I'll admit that I'm wrong, and I'm admitting that I was wrong. I got it wrong. The Rock didn't show up. I admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem doing that. I just think they should have did it right, and same with Sasha Banks, man. I feel like you pull the trigger on Sasha, man. Like, if she's hot right now, she's selling out a New Japan Pro Wrestling events. Why not? Why not have her on?
I still
not
think
New Japan. It's something else, right? Not New Japan.
No, it's New Japan.
Oh,
it's
is
New
it?
Japan,
Okay.
technically,
Okay.
it's just U.S.
or Stardom.
Yeah, it's New Japan and Stardom. They're owned by the same parent company. It's one of those weird deals with that. But with Mercedes money, I think that you could do.
You got to get up on the microphone close like that and say it again.
Money.
There you go.
So with her, like, I think that Tony could sign her, but I also think you have to think about the relationships Tony's built. We talked about that forbidden door. He can't just start taking people from New Japan. You think they're going to be like, thanks, buddy. Thanks for fucking us. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate that.
That's true. That's true.
So I think he's got to work with them. So maybe he did reach out. He was like, listen, I was trying to get her too, but she said she was committed to you, but maybe I could get her after you guys are done.
Or maybe we can pull her in for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For something. You know what I mean? She still works for New Japan, but we can have an AEW New Japan clash.
And that's when you roll out the red carpet, because they just got Juice from over there too.
Yep.
Like,
Yep, they did. I'm wondering who's going to get Jay White, man. We're going to see where Jay White ends up landing. I was hoping to see him in the Rumble, but we didn't get that, dude. Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher. This is going to be a banger, bro. I'm excited for this match.
Yeah, I like the sequence of the whole concept. You had Brian Cage, MJF offering him the money. Like, I don't care if you lose, just beat the hell out of him, you know, and you get someone that's a different specialist of a wrestler. Very, very badass on NXT. I'm surprised I know, of course, Vince was there and, you know, shit went south, but this is going to be a great, excellent match. Just, you know, I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking.
Are you guys
the wrestling purist?
Yeah.
Are you guys bored of the whole MJF gauntlet? Is that a thing now? Or are we getting tired of the MJF gauntlet making you jump through hoops to get a title shot?
I think you're kind of getting like not dream matches, but just like first timing matches. You know, I think instead of him naming in the opponents, now you got Tony doing it compared to the first time it was with Jericho, like fighting this person. But this one's kind of I don't know if I'm the only one feeling this. I'm getting like a different feeling. Like I get a specialist of this type of wrestling, this type of specialist. This one works on arms. This one looks on legs, body. That's what I'm getting out of this.
I think it's Danielson wrestling as many matches as he can with people before he says, I'm part-time now. I'm not going to wrestle every week. I'm done with this. And I think he's like, let me get my reps in. Like, I want to wrestle everybody that I can. And then after that, I'm going to kind of pick and choose where I go and what I do. So use them. You paid him all that money. Use them.
Do you think Bryan Danielson comes into AEW and says, I don't want to be your champion. I just want to wrestle?
I could see him doing that.
You just don't think that we ever get a Bryan Danielson title run in AEW?
I don't know if it's the right time, because I
don't think it's in the cards.
Trigger. Yeah, I felt you had to pull the trigger on MJF. Could I see like a Bryan Danielson tag title reign with like Moxley or he who cannot be named on AEW right now? Yeah, sure. Why not?
TNT maybe.
Who cannot be named?
Oh, Mr. Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I still feel like he's still persona non grata until we hear that music hit on the stage. We're like, nah, he ain't coming back right now, at least to some.
I would hope so, man. I would hope so. So when is Revolution? It's in February, correct?
March.
It's in March.
March, and Daniel.
Do
has
you
to
think
wrestle-
is a possibility for CM Punk to be healed up by March? No, no chance at all, huh?
No,
Maybe
because
all-
Christian's still out, and Christian was hurt
Okay.
before him, and they have the same injury.
Okay.
Best bet brawl out.
In Chicago?
I could see Double or Nothing if he's pushing it.
Yeah, if he really wants to push it, but I think Chicago would probably be his better bet.
Do you think it's even a possibility that AEW brings him back at this point? I know we want to see him back. I do. I want to see him back.
I think it speaks a lot to the management style of the Bucks. Now, listen, I know everybody listens to and they're like, yeah, oh, now you hate the Young Bucks and you hate the Elite. No, Kenny's cool, but the rest. Here's how I see it: when they come in, you're setting a precedent. Now they didn't lose their EVP titles like I thought they would. To me, that was your chance to take them away, and it was like for a good reason. In this situation, if they say no to CM Punk coming back and Jericho's busting in there and all of them do that, you are saying that if you disagree with me about anything and then you have an issue with it and you try to take it up with me, whether it's a punch to the face, yelling, screaming, I'm going to make sure that you don't ever come back and work here again and you're abusing your power. So then when it's time for Roman Reigns and he's like, hey, I was thinking about coming over, Tony. Oh, I can't. I'm not going to be in control. I'm the tribal chief, baby. And I'm saying that as cocky, but he's like, I'm Roman Reigns, dog. Like I do whatever I want. Like
I produce almost 3 million in ratings. What's your ratings last week?
Yeah. and I'm gonna listen to the dudes like that are your trios champs. They're like, nah, man, we're gonna just tell you to sit down and not do that, So I think you can't do something like that when it comes to having them on the show. I don't know, James. Like, what do you think of it? Like, you probably got a different perspective, maybe.
Honestly, I don't even care about Phil anymore. I'm just tired of the whole perspective. All
right, that's enough of him. So
you heard it from you heard it from Seth. I'm like, he's like, look, he's toxic. We don't want him here.
Yeah, fuck Seth. Listen, no, Seth can say whatever he wants. He was asking for a match with him when he was on backstage. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So look, it's the same thing that you said about Cody, right? WWE has to pull the trigger at WrestleMania with Cody getting his title, right? Because if WWE wants anybody from AEW going forward, they're going to like, oh, but look what you did to Cody. You know what I mean? Like Sammy got hot all of a sudden. You just took it away from Cody. And I don't think it's the right move. I think I'm going to stay with AEW because I know I have a chance here. You know what I mean? It's the same thing goes when you're busting into AEW. Like, oh, well, look what you did to Punk though. Like, I don't know.
MJF is watching this whole Sabako. So
yeah.
And look at all of us annoying ass fans. There's still something there with him and MJF. There's unfinished business. There's tag matches. There is a trios reign, I think, in line for Punk if he came back.
Yeah.
We mentioned tag title. There's so many matches we didn't get. Bro, you are flushing money down the toilet if you get rid of this dude.
You're not only just money, dude. You're flushing good TV to produce for the fans. Like,
and a possible rating pop. Yeah, maybe it's only 300K more or whatever, but you're still, dude, it's better. I'd rather be 1,300,000 than just $1 million.
I mean, Punk, when he was on TV, you weren't having people change the channel. When the Elite come on the TV, they're losing 400,000. And I love the Elite. I love the Elite. I have nothing against them. I think that everybody acted piss poor in this situation. I can't wait to see the Elite live. By the way, Prestige Wrestling just announced that Penta is going to be in Portland for Roseland 5. Hello. Like, I got to go and see that, man. Penta is one of my favorite wrestlers. I've loved him ever since Lucha Underground.
Have you ever seen him live?
I've never seen him live. So I'm like, as soon as I seen that, and
fantastic.
they have the VIP packages as well. And they also do sponsors for each match. So there could be a chance that the Pro Wrestling Shoot sponsors the match that Penta is in. And if that's the case, James, you flying down to Washington again?
We'll see.
He's like, I got bills now. I got my own apartment in California. I can't afford shit.
Hold on, I got cobwebs in this wallet.
Either way, we're gonna make something happen. Even if we don't sponsor anything from Prestige, I definitely plan on being there in attendance because I want to get VIP. I want to meet him, dude. I have a Penta mask that James actually got me from California. Love to get that signed by him, dude. That'd be dope. So yeah, that's my opportunity to see him, man. It's main event time. We got Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. Third time, right? This is the third.
Yo, shout out to whoever took that picture of Joe.
Yeah, that's terrible. Shout out to James for getting us a terrible graphic in general.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's the motion graphic.
Yeah. Is it the motion graphic?
Yeah. So when they're moving, like Joe's eyes are closed because he's about to open them to probably put like his fist up. You could tell.
Oh, I got you.
That was from AEW's Twitter. So
no, I'm just giving you shit, James. He's like, man, fuck you. I ain't getting you no more pictures. This is bullshit.
Just be glad it says Samoa Joe and not Samoa Boy.
I'm like, bro, 16 by 9. 16 by 9. You have to have the pictures that are 16 by 9. He's like, I tried, man. I couldn't find them. Well, don't send them to me then. Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. No holds barred match. Sting at the ringside, man. When are we going to get Sting in a singles match? You think it's ever going to happen?
Nah,
you think his retirement match is going to be a tag match just like Muta or what?
I think they'll try to convince him, but I think him and Darby will go out together.
What do you guys think about this card? I think it looks pretty stacked myself.
It's cool. I like it. Like
he said,
No, it's cool. I mean, like I think it's building the revolution. Like I still believe they're going to start telling the story of Takeshita, and I think Takeshita is going to join the Elite. I truly believe that.
Yeah,
like
that's
he's going to be in there with them.
Is Revolution the most built-up pay-per-view that AEW has? It seems like it is. I feel like the build-up is always good for Revolution. Doesn't mean the turnout's good, but the build-up is always good. I don't like the theme of Revolution personally.
I like the theme of Revolution. Like I love the very first one with where they had the wristbands. It was like a rave kind of where everything.
Oh
was like,
yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
That was. Yeah, like made the fans part of the show.
I feel like it's too dark though. Like I feel like just because of the dark green. Yeah, the whole color scheme. I really love Double or Nothing, man, with the poker chips everywhere. I think that they really need to theme out. They need a theme out for that pay-per-view next year and go nuts. But we'll see how it looks with the new set. I'm pretty sure Double or Nothing will have that whole new look. So.
I mean, do you think they're going to – I hope they have new sets for the pay-per-views. Like, I don't really want them to change, like, from the ramp that has, like, all the stuff going down it. I don't know. I'm a big fan of, like, just different sets for the shows.
Me too. Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's a rough economy out there, man. If you can save money in anywhere, why not save it for the sets? You're already buying them all pyro, so
right.
I mean, it is what it is. I think the card looks good. I'm happy for the card. We'll see what happens with Takeshita and see if it is going to the Elite. I think it's kind of strange that Takeshita is taking on Brian Cage.
Well, that was when he came out after Brian got
Yeah, but is this leading for a match of the pay-per-view, or are we just doing a one-off? Because
I think they're building them up for the ROH title. Some people will say, like, maybe it's the All-Atlantic. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, All-Atlantic would fit him nicely.
Well, Conrad, thank you for joining us today, man, taking the hot tag in for Michael. It was a good discussion about the belts, good discussion about Royal Rumble, and it's always fun talking AEW and, you know, of course, the Briscoe situation. Yeah, man, till next time. Guys, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch at The Pro Wrestling Shoot. Follow us on Twitter at TPWS Podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, or anywhere that you can rate and review, please do so. Subscribe to our YouTube and come into our live chat every single Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're always getting down. We're always answering questions. Do what you got to do. It's just another platform that you can find us, but in video format. I'm Jesse Carter. He's James Pinard Jr. and Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. Go and check them out after AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. And, check out the best reviewers in the game when it comes to AEW, man. Go check them out. Everything Pro Wrestling, at Everything Pro Wrestling. Go check them out. We'll see you next week right here, Pro Wrestling Shoot.